do you, there are a lot of allegations, or even for that matter, it's a fact of the matter.
Yeah.
You have several of the ministers, parliamentarians and, activists. I'm talking about economists as well, where they say one of the reasons why Sri Lanka is today in this state is also because of China. Do you agree with that?
No, there is the Chinese, the debt, but China is and Japan are the two largest creditor nations as far as we are concerned. The issue on China is whether Chinese loans were used on economically viable projects. Well, the issue there is that the projects were decided by Sri Lanka. For instance, Hambantota Harbour and the Mattala airport were pushed by Sri Lanka. Chinese came in there and gave the money when Sri Lanka wanted it. So these really are. Did we make the correct assessment?
So you're putting the blame on Sri Lanka itself for choosing such, the wrong projects, or even for that matter.
Yeah, China went along and gave the money, but remember, we are the ones with the big issues that we have on China. But otherwise, Belt and Road would be a way of integrating into the Asian system. But there's others.
It was not done right, is what you're saying.
No, selecting the projects, but our biggest problem is not the loans from creditor nations. It is the loans we have taken on the international market, the ISB, the international sovereign bonds, which really constitute nearly 49 to 50%, because the loans whether we got from China or Japan weren't projects, they were project loans, but we took ISBs and then we used it for so many other purposes. The issue is whether we should have taken so much of ISBs.
So Sri Lanka made a mistake, is what you're saying?
Well, I think we should have controlled it and put more of our money into developing the sectors of the economy. After the war was over, there was a lot of money available for the north and the east infrastructure, and people went ahead with it. Then we decided that we will go ahead with a construction economy. So the money was had to develop the infrastructure in Sri Lanka. Okay, there was extension of the southern road from Matara to Hambantota. Maybe we had even recommended that earlier when I was in government. But you took on two major. There was the Katunayaka highway. That's all right. But we took on some of these big projects which were really not economically viable. Added to that, that was only adding on to the burden we had with the ISBs. A lot of the other work was being financed by the ISBs when we were not really. When our budget is out of the it's only in 2017 we got a surplus on the primary budget, and secondly our balance of trade was certainly not in our favor.
Yes.
And we were taking ISBs when the balance of trade was against us. At least the loans from the friendly nations had a gestation period, but this is what brought the economy really down.